So we are starting the convention with gumbo, and they had a non-seafood version, which I requested, and Lindsay had a seafood version, which is gone. But I got a non-seafood version, and I got a roll, and I'm about to tuck in because I did not have breakfast, and I'm absolutely starving. I believe they told us this is a goat cheese ravioli and spinach. And it looks amazing. Goat cheese is one of my favorite foods on earth, so. Here is dessert, and it appears to be some sort of shortbread with strawberry. It's a strawberry shortcake, of course. Mine's just going to be a shortcake because Lindsay's about to take my strawberries, but yeah, well, that's cool.
Then they ran up and said,
I've never seen one before.
First of all, I want to thank this opportunity to participate. I'm so thrilled to have my work there at Modern Doll. Thank you so much. My name is Ana Salvador, and I'm a doll artist. That's my profession. I started in 1998, really long ago, and I went to Helsinki to a trip in Finland. I had some friends there. And there I saw my first art dolls, and they were very primitive fairies that you could hang on a wall, and they were made of clay, and the hair was like straw. They were very primitive but very charming. But back then I couldn't afford any dolls, so I was so fascinated, and I felt so bad that I couldn't buy them that I decided to come home and try to make my own doll. So that was my first inspiration, and my first doll project was inspired by those dolls. And then in Portugal, I made lots of exhibitions with these primitive dolls at cafes, and I gave them to friends and family. And it started to grow a little bit, but it was my hobby. I had another job. I was an art teacher at an institution. So that was my kind of fun thing to do, my hobby. But then when I met my husband and I moved to the Netherlands, and that was in 2003, I didn't have a job, I didn't have an occupation, and I thought, what can I do? I loved painting, so my first idea was to go to an atelier and start painting, and that's what I did. But then I also missed making the dolls, so I started making the dolls, and then I decided to try eBay, and it went really well on eBay, and I started to sell my dolls on eBay, and prices went, because people could bid, prices started going a little bit higher and higher. And I thought, hey, this is becoming a little bit more serious. And then I decided to apply to be, I went to a show in Rotterdam, a doll show. And there I saw a lot of variety of dolls. And I was really like seeing so many different dolls. And this was already in 2005 or 6. And I saw the dolls of Henny Saris. I don't know if you ever heard of Henny Saris. She was my inspiration. And I saw her dolls at that show, and I had a conversation with her. I bought her book, and there she had a lot of tutorials. And then I started practicing at home and focusing a lot on sculpting. I sculpted every day, at least 2 hours a day. I just made a compromise to myself that I wanted to get my skills better and better. And all because I saw her work, and I saw the level, and I thought, it's possible to get to that level, and I wanted to try it. So I started doing that, and then I was making static dolls, like fairies, like full body sculptures. And I study anatomy also at school. I was in art school, design school, art school / and we had body sketching. So I was trained in muscles and anatomy and proportions. So I made the fairies, and they were more realistic, and they were not dolls, but more like little sculptures. And then I decided to apply to enter the DAVIDA, and that is the Dutch Institute for Doll Art, for Dutch and Belgian Institute of Doll Art. And they accepted me in 2007, and the reason I wanted to go to DAVIDA was because Henny Saris was the founder and the director, and I thought, if I can go there and be with her and all these amazing artists, then it gave me a boost of confidence for my work. And it was really nice. I went to the meeting, they saw my work, they approved, and then I was every year going to this meeting. It was amazing because there were so many good artists. A big inspiration for me, the Davida doll. And then after the Davida, I started working even harder in perfecting my skills. And then when I felt a bit more confident, I decided to apply to NIADA in America, and that was a big step for me. I decided to submit my photos, and there were some Davida artists that were also part of NIADA, and they also gave me enough confidence to apply because they told me, you know, your work is improving so much. Just try it, and I did, and they accepted me also, so I was thrilled. I went to the conference in Connecticut in 2012, and there at the conference I met all these amazing artists again that were a huge inspiration. And I met one particular artist, Robert Toner, that you all know, of course, and he was one of the key speakers, and is yeah, he really inspired me to start creating dolls that I could make a replica of. He explained me his process, he explained me how he does it, etc. And I really thought, oh, maybe I should, instead of making one of a kind, because I was making one of a kind dolls, static. Now, back then I was already making ball jointed dolls in porcelain, but it was just the beginning. I started in 2011, so I took to NIADA my first ball jointed dolls. In porcelain. And then I realized I could maybe also work with other materials. So thanks to Robert at the conference, I started the seed of the resin and ball jointed dolls started growing in my mind. And then I decided in 2015 I had my first resin doll. So I started in 2013, 14, making the prototype in porcelain to send to the factory. And in 2015, I had my first resin dolls, and that was Lucy and Lisa, long time ago. Yeah, and that was a little bit how it all started.
And that brings us to today with our event doll, Peggy. And so this is the first time that you've done an edition of dolls like this, because even though your dolls really are all dressed and wigged one of a kind, even though they're all the same doll from the factory, they're still one of a kind in that sense, and that you paint every one of them, you hand make the clothes. So this is the first time you've actually done an edition of dolls, all the same. We've got 20 of these in this edition. Tell me about that process and what that was like for you.
That was an interesting process because it was the first time, like you said, and I'm a little bit I realize I'm a bit of a control freak. So I had to, the most difficult thing for me was to handle what I normally do all by myself, all those steps that one has to make as a doll artist, to handle to somebody else to make. And I still want to have a good product, of course, because it's my job. It's my image that's being represented, so I want to have it as good as possible. And I was a bit nervous, but I liked the challenge. I like challenges, and I thought when you invited me, I thought immediately in my mind, yes, yes, yes. But then I thought, oh, and now what? But it turned out very, very well, and I was thrilled how the doll turned out. And so what they did is that they sent Peggy's head to me, blank, and then I painted the heads. And I painted the heads especially good because I wanted to have a good sample for them. And I sent a sample of the head painted by me. And what they did was that they have artists there that reproduced the painting, and they're all hand painted. So they're quite skilled. I was very well impressed with the painting they made at the factory. I think they have very good artists there too. So and then yeah, the wigs I already had Peggy. I made Peggy myself already several times. So I thought, which wig is easy to assemble and that always looks good and gives her a kind of this childish look, because she has this round face, and then with those two pompons she looks so cute. So I thought immediately that was the perfect wig, and the fabrics, everything came out together very smoothly. And then what I did was I chose the fabrics at my local fabric shop, and then I made the clothes myself. And I had this contact of a factory that I got via in China, and everybody seems very satisfied with them. So I made the prototype and I sent the prototype to them of the clothes, and they reproduced the clothes, and I sent them the fabric. So I sent them the patterns, the fabrics. They just needed to do the work, basically. And that's what they did. So it was really it worked out really nice.
I'm so pleased. I'm so excited with how well they came out, and I know everybody here
Yeah.
is just gonna love them as soon as they open them. It's very exciting. But one of the things, now we're of course filming this before the event, but I know that when people have walked into this room and they've seen the centerpiece dolls that you've done, they are incredible. They are so stunning. Can you talk about the process of creating those, because those are all individual dolls that are individually dressed, and um, kind of tell us about like what you do with the clothes, how you choose the wigs and stuff like that.
So how I do the clothes, and yeah, it's just I found this other shop. So I had my regular fabric shop, and now I found another shop called the Dutch Quilt, and they reproduce antique fabrics. And I found this shop in Amsterdam. So if you come to Amsterdam, let me know. I'll give you the contact of this shop. It's amazing. It's like a paradise for fabrics. And I went there, and I had the most amazing couple of hours shopping there and chatting with the people there. And then I chose fabrics that I was looking forward to try new dolls. And I also had um, new samples of Olivia just arrived. So you have you have the first Olivia dolls that I made with different colors, because normally the color that I used to use was the color sample of my polymer clay dolls that I used to make long ago. It's a kind of a porcelain color, and since a couple of years I decided to offer my clients different colors. I'm very happy with that because it gives such a variety to the faces and the looks. I'm just thrilled that I had that idea. I don't know why I didn't have it before, but now now it's there. So Olivia was one of the dolls that I thought this would look amazing in chocolate and tan color. So I ordered those dolls, and then I decided to give you that treat because I thought they are so cute. And I thought, why not do, I really try my best. And also the little dolls that I still make for the bigger dolls, I also decided to make animals and dolls mixed. So I really wanted to give you guys, I tried my best. Basically, I really wanted to treat you well with the best I could do. So that's it. So the companions for the dolls, I already was going to stop making them a while ago, but I keep on making them, and people keep on asking me. But they are a little bit of, because I used to make static dolls and one of a kind polymer clay dolls. And when I started making the resin dolls, I missed making those bigger dolls in resin, polymer clay. So these little creatures, animals, and little dollies are a little bit that part of me that still wants to continue making one of a kind, more, yeah, art little pieces that I'm not making anymore in a bigger size, but then I make in a smaller size, and then I try to combine it with the other dolls. So that's where it comes from. But it's a lot of work. So now every time I make them, I think, oh, this takes me so long. Maybe I shouldn't do it, but then I still feel like doing. So as long as I feel like making them, I will go on making them.
Specifically about Peggy. tell us about, when did you sculpt her? How did you see her personality? And just anything about her extra that you could tell us about Peggy
Yeah.
herself.
So I started making Peggy in 2020 during the pandemic, and so I even have here actually her sculpted. This is the sculpture I make in polymer clay. And then I wanted to make more like not a real baby, not reborn is not my style, but I was looking for more like a very young child, baby like. And then I wanted a toddler body, but also so I made the heads in polymer clay, and I made the chest that fits this head, and it's different from my other doll, Emily and Olivia, because I decided that she should have a chubbier torso, like more a belly, like a little baby toddler. And then I thought, how cute would it be if she would have also like skinny legs and skinny arms? Like my daughter was a bit like that. She had this toddler cute belly, but then she had really tiny legs and tiny arms. So that was a bit the vision that I had for Peggy. And but the sculpture itself just came out very naturally. I wanted this doll to have like this innocent, sweet expression, looking at the world a little bit, wondering and needing some protection. So I wanted to have her to make her with a really innocent look. And I think when I sculpted the face and I looked at her, I was happy. I thought immediately, yes, this is it. And it was that's how she was born. And then funny enough, I have here also for you to see the comparison. This is the polymer clay sculpture, and this is the porcelain sculpture. So you can see. So I have here the seam lines for the plaster mold that I made from this sculpted head, and then I pour the porcelain, and then I make this porcelain prototype, and this porcelain head is the one that I send to the factory, and then they make molds there, and they create the resin version, which is even a tiny little bit smaller than the porcelain. So but it's all handmade, and the resin dolls, they're all handmade and they send them, and it's really also a skillful work that they make with the resin dolls. They're really very well done, and also handmade, not by me but by other people. But I'm very happy with this factory that I work with.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell folks that we haven't talked about here?
I want to thank you, Allison, for all the work that you have done, and for your invitation, for the invitation of Modern Doll. And I'm so thrilled, and I happily accept the invitation for next year, and I hope to be there. I'm not sure if I can, but in any way, my dolls will certainly be, because I'm happy to go again in this adventure and make more dolls for you guys.
Thank you so much. That's so exciting, and I know our attendees are going to be very excited about it.
Goodbye. Thank you for attending my event, and I'm excited about 2025. Bye bye.
I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons from Patreon: Lindsay S., Leah W., Doreen Z., Janice H., Mercedes W., Cindy K., Bear Sunflower, Diane B., Kelly L., Shorna R., Stephanie W., Shalane C., Penny P., Louisa's Knickknacks, Marty G., Lynn P., Cindy L., and Sabrina A. Your support means so much to me and helps me continue bringing you great dolly content. For more information on how you can become a supporter of this channel, please see the notes in the video description. Thank you.